Hello, Kleschka crew. Welcome back to week 2 of Kleschka Picks. We're starting this one standing because we are already off to a hot streak, baby. I already got one score correct. The Bears and Titans.
I think the Bears will get the W against the Titans, 24-17.
Out the gates on fire. And with that, let's get right into the week 2 predictions. You know, I brought my chair back over here because I was going to do the video sitting down like usual, but I don't know. I just kind of feel like standing. Let's start with the Jets and Titans. The Jets last week went up against 49ers. Aaron Rodgers made it out of week 1. Let's go. And the Titans, like I just mentioned, I predicted their score right last week, but man, they blew it. Okay, they had it in the palm of their hands and they dropped that like this. They just had it right here and they lost. That's what happened. And I think this week we are definitely going to see the Jets get a better outcome. I think Aaron Rodgers is had all this time to know this team, and he is finally getting the chance to be on the field and show all of us. And I think the Titans are just not going to be able to keep up. I think the Jets win this one 27-17. And before we continue with the predictions, I do want to address that I missed the Thursday night football game. I'm sorry. I've had a ton on my plate lately, getting ready to go to Europe in about a week and a half, a ton of life events that have been going on. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. And I also want to stop and say I'm praying for Tua Tagovailoa. He went out with a concussion, and you know, the history with Tua and head injuries is not good, man. I hope he really thinks about this and does what's best for him. So everybody, pray for Tua, man. Hope he's okay. Next up, Giants and Commanders. The Commanders faced an onslaught of offense from the Buccaneers last week, lost that game. They have the Giants, who really don't even know what offense is. Daniel Jones looked terrible, and I think that'll continue this week. You got a pretty solid defense with the Commanders, and I think this time going up against an offense that is definitely nowhere near half the league, I would say, in the Giants. I think the Commanders will be able to come out of this one with a victory and win it 24-13. Raiders and Ravens. I love saying that. Those names sound so similar, but these two teams cannot be more opposite in terms of their talent. The Raiders, they are hard to watch. Offensively, they've been trying to figure it out for about 3 seasons now. And the Ravens, they keep getting better offensively. Lamar Jackson, obviously one of the top QBs in the league. And then you got Derrick Henry in that backfield now. I don't think it's going to be a pretty week for the Raiders. I think the Ravens are going to be flying high into the sky. And I think they're going to beat up on Vegas and win this one 33-13. Chargers and Panthers. The Panthers have been looking bad the past couple seasons as well. And it does not look much better going into the future. The Chargers, they lost a lot of key players in the offseason, but they got some acquisitions that did step up, like J.K. Dobbins, Ladd McConkey in the draft, and we'll see how that pans out for the rest of the season, but it's going to have to be the defense that helps out that offense because they don't have the same weapons they used to, and they need the opposite side of the ball to hold it down. I think that'll be no problem against the Carolina Panthers. They have faced a lot of problems recently, and I don't think this offense is going to be scaring that Los Angeles defense. I think the Los Angeles offense will also be fine. I think it's actually going to be a big week for the Chargers overall, so give me them beating the Panthers 30-13. Cowboys and Saints. The Saints had no problem picking up a victory last week. Derek Carr looked good, and then you got the Cowboys, who also look good with Dak Prescott on that new contract and CeeDee Lamb. The defense also showed out. However, their opponent and Deshaun Watson looked very bad. So I don't know if it's a result of them just looking terrible or the Cowboys defense is just like that. I think it's a mix of both. And this week, I think the offense will continue strong for the Cowboys, and I think the Saints will come back down to earth, and I think they will have the L in this one. Cowboys pick up the W, winning 30-20. Buccaneers and Lions. Watch out for those Buccaneers. They're pretty sneaky. They had a high-scoring affair last week, came away with the win. The Lions also picked up the win, and they are underrated. They are fun to watch. I think that's the case for both of these teams. You can say that about each one, and I think these two going head-to-head is going to be a lot of fun, and I think they are both sneaky. I think they will surprise a lot of people this year, but I think the team that will surprise people more, and I'm saying it in this game too, the Buccaneers. I think they're going to continue that dominant offense. I think Baker Mayfield is so comfortable in Tampa, and he's really finding that connection with Mike Evans and the rest of the receivers. So give me Tampa barely winning this one, 27-24, but I honestly think it could go either way. Packers and Colts. Jordan Love is already out for a significant amount of time. They're going to be running it with Malik Willis in Green Bay. And then for the Colts, they tried to make a late game comeback last week against the Texans. Anthony Richardson did everything he could, but he did not cross the finish line. This week, I think it is going to be an adjustment period for Malik Willis leading this Packers offense. I don't think it's going to come out of the gates extremely hot, especially because we haven't even seen much from Malik Willis in the NFL yet. And being on a new team, I just don't think it's going to be pretty. So give me the Colts and Anthony Richardson finishing this job this week against the Packers and picking up the W 26-17. The Jags had a comeback against them last week. Miami did their thing. Could not say the same about them this week. And the Browns, Deshaun Watson, they looked horrible, man. And they already got a big injury with David Njoku. That is a huge weapon for their offense. And I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair, not due to defensive battle. I think these offenses are just going to lack on both sides. However, I think the one that is going to perform slightly better is going to be the Jags. I think they're going to pick up this win. The Browns just looked horrendous offensively last week. And I think Jacksonville wins this one 20-14. 49ers and Vikings. The 49ers did their thing last week. They've been one of the most dominant teams in football for the last couple seasons. The Vikings and Sam Darnold surprised a lot of people, came out looking very good, and that is all emergency play. You had J.J. McCarthy in the draft already out for the year. Sam Darnold signs and he goes out there and does that. Nice, man. I like it. And even though the 49ers are without Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason was running that frickin' ball like somebody just kidnapped his child and is in the opposite end zone. He was running angry, man. It was crazy to watch. And I think in this one, the 49ers and their offense will be perfectly okay. The defense will bring Sam Darnold back to reality, especially because they know this guy. Sam Darnold was on the 49ers before this. And I think they pick up the win, Niners 31-20. Seahawks and Patriots. The Patriots were able to beat the Bengals last week. Shocked me, and I'm sure a lot more people. The Seahawks beat the Broncos. We had Geno Smith out there looking like the fastest man on the team. That's because he is. He literally has the fastest time out of everybody. And Kenneth Walker was looking great as well. He's a little banged up from week 1, but I think we will be fine. I think we will have Drake May coming in with some struggles against our defense, and I think he'll really get his welcome to the NFL moment. I don't think he really saw it against the Bengals. I think he'll get a taste of reality in professional football this week, and I think the Seahawks win 24-20. Rams and Cardinals. Both of these teams lost last week. However, the Cardinals did look pretty solid, even though they took the L. I am excited to see what they are going to be doing the rest of the season. And the Rams, they lost, and they also lost one of their key wide receivers in Puka Nacua. It's kind of a swap of last season. Puka's going to be out for a couple of weeks. You know who was out for a couple of weeks last year to start the season? Cooper Kupp. And now he's alone in this receiving corps like Puka was last year to start the year. So this is going to be interesting. Without Puka, I'm sure it's going to affect their offense a tiny bit. And I think we're actually going to see people be shocked by the result of this one. When Kyler Murray is healthy, James Conner thrives in this offense. And I think we're going to see what they did last week, and they're going to keep rolling that ball. Even though they took the L, I'm sure they felt good with how they performed. And I think on a banged up Rams team, this Cardinals team is going to pick up the W. And I think the final score of the game is going to be 27-23. Bengals and Chiefs, Burrow and Mahomes. This is one of the most epic battles in all of football right now. However, I have not seen a lot from this Bengals offense recently, even going back to last year. Joe Burrow has not looked the same since the Super Bowl, I will say. And Mahomes, he does not miss a step, dude. He goes out there every week and pulls off something crazy. Even when he struggles, man, they find a way to win, and he still looks decent at his lowest point. And I don't think the Bengals are ramped up to the point where they can keep up with Kansas City right now, especially with the speedy receivers Kansas City has. Oh my God. So give me the Chiefs winning this one, 33-23. Every week we have a game that we just kind of look at and go, Do we really have to talk about this? Well, we've reached that point in the episode, and for me, that is Denver and Pittsburgh. Steelers versus Broncos. Let's just cut right to the chase and say 24-17 Broncos. Texans and Bears. The Texans were able to hold on for a victory last week, even though they were starting to slow down towards the end. They crossed that finish line, got the win. And the Bears, they did get the win too. Not really thanks to Caleb Williams. He was kind of absent. The defense was a huge factor in their win, and I think this week they aren't going to get as lucky. I think the Houston offense is so stacked. They added Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon, who made huge impacts in week 1, and obviously that's going to affect everybody else on the team, and I think they're just going to go crazy. The defense also just gets better and better each year, I feel like, and I think the Bears are going to get used to a tougher opponent right here. I don't think it's going to go as smooth as last week. Give me the Texans winning this one 30-20. Eagles and Falcons with Kirk Cousins at the helm at quarterback. I thought that'd be an improvement for the Falcons. Didn't really see too much. I thought that would help out their young weapons a lot. Really haven't seen it. Maybe it's going to take some adjustment period to get used to him at quarterback. And then we have the Eagles, who have a new running back in Saquon Barkley, and he looks like they have no problem getting adjusted. He is going to thrive in that offense with all those other weapons around him. He is going to be elevated, and I think they will have no problem this week. I think Saquon is perfectly adjusted already, and I think that offense is going to go nuts against the Falcons. I think the final score of this game will be 33-16. And if you made it to the end of this video, everybody, go down in the comments and let me know where you're watching football this Sunday. Your living room, a friend's house, a sports bar? Put it down there in the comments. Use your little fingers to type that out, and use those same fingers to like the video. Hit the subscribe button. All that good stuff really does help the channel. I got this. You got this. We all got this. I'll see you next time.